we have been on this passage for the past 2 sermons of mine, and today we're going to continue on it. Have a brief on what we have learned before from this passage. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. What do we learn from this? Remember the keywords? None of you remember? Preparation, right? We need to prepare. So the ants store food in the summer, but that is for winter, so we need to prepare. And we need to know what to prepare for. And the second one, the little creatures, extremely small and weak. What are they? Hyraxes. Hyraxes are creatures with little power. When we think about Hyraxes, it's cute. It cannot run fast. It cannot dig. But what they do, they make their home in the cracks, in the space between the rocks, on the rocks. What do we learn from that? Remember? Location. Location and position, where we are. Because where we are is really going to provide us what the place has. And by doing that, we can take advantage of that. And remember, the rocks mentioned again and again in the Bible, the rock is Jesus Christ for us, for His people. So we need to know where we should stay, to hide from the danger attacks. So that's the second lesson we learned from Hyraxes. And now we get to locusts. It said locusts have no king. You guys have an idea? Have you caught a locust, something like that? How big is it? It's like the size of thumb, right? And it says locusts have no king. However, what happened to them? Yet they advance together in ranks. There's a report, and every occasion when the locusts be reported, the swarm. It's a big army of they don't crowd it, they just, even they are crowded, however, they advance in ranks. The lesson we're going to learn is about unity. From this is about unity. Have a few words on locusts. How long it's going to take? Probably 9 weeks. So they lay eggs in the ground, and then what happened? Incubate about 2 weeks, and gradually there's a small insect, young, and become adult. It takes about 9 weeks. And this is the leg. See, these are their eggs below the grass. If you remember in the Bible, locust has been mentioned many times in many places. You guys remember where it's been mentioned? It's interesting enough. Locust is the insect we mentioned can be food in the Leviticus. Now, all insects that walk on all fours are to be regarded as unclean by you. All the insects being regarded as unclean, but therefore, however, some flying insects that can walk on all fours that you may eat, those have jointed legs for hopping on ground. And of these, you may eat any kind of locust, katydid, and crick grasshopper. So remember who ate locust as food in the Baptist, John the Baptist, right? So when John Baptist, in those days, John Baptist came preaching in the wilderness in Judea, and John's clothes were made of camel's hair, and he had a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locust and white honey. Anyone tried locust? No? See here mentioned the locust and the grasshopper. I have ate some grasshopper. You know, in China, in the market or the night market, they sell those in tray and they toast them. So when I was in middle school, there is a big playground. So during the break, normally we very often we went there to catch the grasshopper and then make a fire and then toast it. It's very small. If we get one, you know, several of some have a leg, some have the trunk. We just taste it. It tastes good. It tastes good. What is the difference between grasshopper and the locust? If you imagine the grasshopper and locust are quite similar thing. It mentioned here, grasshopper. They live in a well-grassed land. So everything's good, they live in just there individually. Normally they do not form a swarm. But there is a transformation between grasshopper and locust. When we talk about locust, locust is a group of grasshopper thing. So when the condition getting worse in the desert, the individual grasshopper gonna try to stay together. And the way they respond, the way they live change. The speed of the laying eggs and the living, the body, the legs, everything changed. It's a transformation, and they become a group of the grasshopper. And then we call locust. It's a migratory locust because when they become the locust, they're gonna try to search the food, follow the wind. When the winds swing, there's a smells about the fresh grass, they're gonna follow. The whole army of the locusts is gonna move. That is how you see the ones they call, what is called a swarm. A swarm. It's a disaster actually, because when they come, they just wipe out everything. In Hebrew Bibles, locust swarms are God's armies. Are God's armies. If you remember in Exodus, the 8 plagues is by sending the locusts to the land. So here it says, if you receive to let them go, I will bring locusts into your country tomorrow. This is Moses was sent to talk to Pharaoh. And they will cover the face of the ground. Look at that. They will cover the face of the ground so that it cannot be seen. It will devour what little you have left after the hail, including every tree that is growing in your field. They will fill your houses and those of all your officials and all the Egyptians, something neither your parents nor your ancestors have ever seen from the day they settled in this land till now. So that is how, because during that process, God just gave them the plagues. It's more dramatic one after the others. And this is the 8th one. This is the 8th one. And what happened? So Pharaoh ignored. And that indeed happened like what is being described here. But the Pharaoh's advisors already feel the fear. They said, let the people go so they can worship their God. Let the people go so they can worship the God. You know, it's interesting. Another place, God in the Bible mentioned about the relationship, His people and locust or grasshopper, you know where is it? It is quite interesting. In Isaiah chapter 40, and what the God says, do you not know, have you not heard, has it not been told you from the beginning, have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sit enthroned above the circle of earth, which is the heaven. And its people are like grasshopper. Look at what we have described the difference between grasshopper and locust. Grasshopper living individually. When we describe like that, it's just like, you know, God's people are little. The picture is here is God's people are little. They're really small. They're really small. Individually, they cannot do nothing. Individually, they cannot do nothing. And here it said, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshopper. And then in the Numbers, another description about how God's people looks like. You know, in Numbers, so Moses gonna try to lead the Israelites enter the Canaan, the land of Canaan. And what he did is he sent some men to explore the land of Canaan. So he sent 12 of them. And the 12 of them went there, take a look at them, and then came back. And then this is what they reported. So, but the man had gone up with him and said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. Because when they say that, everyone will be scared. And they said, the land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw, there were great size. If you look at some of the picture being captured, reflect the size of the people in that land, in the Canaan, and the size of Israel, you're going to see they probably this tall, and the Israel like that. And what they saw, so we saw Nephilims there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own light. We looked the same to them. We're so tiny. There's no way we're going to be able to conquer that land. So they compare themselves in the size with the people living there. And then they look at themselves. We like a grasshopper. The image of God's people. But they forgot they can transform by God. They can be transformed. They can be transformed. And the same thing, because God is going to call them out. He said, to whom will you compare me? To whom or who is my equal, says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens, who create all this. He who bring all the stereo hosts one by one, and call forth each of them by name by name. The host, because his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. God's people just randomly living in many areas, but He's gonna call them. He's gonna call them. This is the image of God's people and the relationship with God, and also the God's will among them. So when we think about animals, in Job it says, but ask the animals. When people think he's being punished by, a lot of judgment on him, he said, ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds in the fly, and they will tell you. Speak to the earth and it will teach you, and or let the fish in the sea inform you. So everything on the earth teaches something. Everything on the earth teaches something. But when we look at the locust, there's a lot we can learn. There's another big chunk of the passage in the Bible describe how locust works, which is recorded in the book of Joel. So locusts visit Israelites in the time of prophet Joel. So years of abundant harvest have destroyed Joel's community. The rich become rich, and they forgot their responsibility. And there's a division among the people. They forgot their responsibility to worship God, to be united in God's name. So God sent locusts to them. And he said, this is how the passage describes how the locusts act. So they run like mighty men. They climb the wall like soldiers, and they each march in line, advance in ranks. Even there's no king for them, which is a passage in Proverbs we have read. And what they now do, nor do they deviate from their passes. They do not run away from the passes, and then do not crowd each other. They march everyone in his path. When they burst through the defense, they do not break ranks. This is a description how they do and what they do not do. They walk along their own paths. They do not crowd or deviate from their path. It's very determined. And they do not break ranks. Whoever is in front is in front. They follow one by one. This is how it's been described, how they move. Even they burst through the defenses. And then what happened to them? They rush on the city, they run on the wall, they climb into the houses, they enter through the windows like a thief. And then, before them, the earth quakes, the heaven trembles, the sun and the moon grow dark, and the stars lose their brightness. Think about that locust, what they can, if individually is so small, we can just kill them by fingers, snaps. But when they're getting together, the earth quakes, the heaven trembles. You see the power of the unity. Small things, when they united, it's terrible. And it's extreme strong power. And then, it's more interesting in this next pattern. Is the Lord utters his voice before his army. The locust is God's army. Surely he comes is very great. And then what's it? For strong is he who carries out his words. Because the locust carries out his word because they strong. Then they make strong. The days of Lord is indeed great and very awesome. Who can endure them? God used small things. He used locusts to punish, to force Pharaoh. Gave them the damage, led them to release his people. And also he used locusts to punish his own people when they do not obey him. And this is how you look at it. When you have a swarm of the locusts, it's like that. It's like army. Everything is terrible. What do we learn from this? when you think about individual things and a group of things, they make things, the power being transformed. If you think about a tree, if you think one tree, what it can do is stand in the field, it won't do much. But when you have a line of the tree together, it can build a strong wall against the wind. How people use it. From a single tree to a forest. With the power of the forest, if you have a bunch of the tree in front of anything, it's going to block a lot of the wind and the sand. And if you have familiar with this kind of thing, what is this? If I have this is the old, like a proverb to show people how strong can be when you group things together, strength. If you have one chopstick, you can easily break it, right? But if you have a bunch of them, then they become strong. Even individually, they are weak. Even individually, they are weak. Anyone can read this? Chinese, okay? Testing. Grace. 有谁看一个什么篱笆 Liba means fence. 一个篱笆 this is Chinese thing. 一个篱笆三个桩 3 pliers. If you want to make a fence, how you make it? Not only the fence, you have to have the pliers, right? 3 of them could make a good one. 一个好汉 a good fellow, a capable fellow. It needs 3 other support. Okay. So that means the difference, because this is a transformation. Remember in the Bible, when we talk about the church, at the beginning of the church growth, what really make the church think about they need to have some people or deacons. They have to be elected and be responsible for certain things. Because there's a widow, because of the population increase in the church, the congregation increase the size, and the need of the widow brought them to attention. Because if you have one widow, we don't see them, their need won't be recognized. However, when you have a big group of them, things change. You have to pay attention to it. And that because they are all widows, what the difference? Because the number, the need increased. The need increased. So number makes things change. Number makes things change. It's the same thing in the church. You know, at the beginning of the church, when Jesus went out for his ministry, he immediately selects the ones the disciples. He went out as a group. So 12 apostles, those 12 are the persons carry out the whole mission called by Jesus. So that's how it works. And when Jesus sent out his disciples to go to the mission trip, how did he did? He sent 2 by 2. He sent 2 by 2. If you imagine any movie, I don't know whether you have been that. If you think about the police, every policeman, they have a partner. They always have worked as a team. Even on the field, in the field, not only, you have to have a partner. You have to, and behind the team, there's a whole group in the headquarters with communication, keep them together. In the world, people know that always talking about team build, team build. Because team make difference. The numbers make difference. When the team be united, it makes difference. And when Apostle Paul went out for his mission trip, he always brought co-workers. He always brought co-workers. In the church, the unity of the congregation, of each member, of Jesus' follower, is in Jesus' prayer. Is in Jesus' prayer. Jesus, in his prayer in John 17, he said, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. How do we let the world know that God sent Jesus and God loved them people? It's through the life of unity in the church. How can we be united? Every of us are different. If you have 100 of piano, how would you tune them to be the same? How? You tune them one by one. You tune them according to one tuner. If each of the piano been tuned according to the same tuner, they are the same. They will be the same. That's why everyone in the church, how can we be united? We're united in Christ. Everyone been tuned to the Christ. So when everyone been tuned, everyone have him in us, then in that sense, we will be the same. We will be the same. So we were told, as one family we dwell together. How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. Do you guys feel that beauty, good, pleasant, when we dwell? Dwell means you live together, stay together, laugh together, play together, work together. Somehow it's quite, dwell the word is kind of, like, when you think about it, it's not a simple contact. It's not a simple interact. It's kind of deep inside, dwelling. When you think about something, dwell inside, it's just, it's into you, into each other. Though we have, all of you, I think most of you been grown from the little together. And the family here, for many years we have been living together. We laugh together, we eat together, we fight something together, we have difficulties. But when we living together, that is how beautiful it is. When we do work together, work for the family, how beautiful it is. The kids, younger kids in the church already being informed that there will be an egg hunter in the Easter, right? Saturday. So excited. And when we're doing that together, how do you guys enjoy the time being together, packing those eggs? Do you? Yes. How about do it by yourself? I have 2 bags of big egg I got from Baptist church. They donate to other church for help, but I haven't got time to. Anyone want to do it by yourself, just unpack, put them together? It's not fun, right? But when we do together, even a boring thing can make, there's some good taste inside. That is why we do it in the unity. In one unity. And as one body, we are joined together. As one body, we are joined together. Ephesians says, instead, speaking of the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of Him who is the head. That is Christ. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love, as each part does its work. We are joined together as one body when we work. So that's why, in the locust image say, they do not cross, they do not break the order, break the rank. They do whatever they should do. They stay where they want. We should be. And that is the description how we can, we are better than locust, right? Locust has no king. We have a king, the baby King Jesus. We have a king. We should act better. And here, who is the head? Christ, right? Christ. From him, the whole body joined and held together by every supporting ligament. Everything. God is the one who, Jesus is the one who connects each of us. This is the image of the one body we should be connected as one temple. We are framed together. The church is a temple. It's a holy temple where we demonstrate through the worship, through the life, people can see God. That is an outward expression of the mighty of God in the body of Christ, the church. That's why in a place like this, when we do worship on Sunday, we demonstrate that. We show our respect. Everything, every service we do it sincerely from the heart, from the inside. We show respect to each other at this place. We behave differently because this place is a place, Sunday worship, is an outward expressing of God, His mighty, His place, and our heart towards them. That's why it's different from where else you go to study, you go to school. We have to dress formally, and we show the respect in our attitude towards everything. And in this, we also need to prepare our heart. As a group, all the team. This is a worship team. We have people always working behind the scene, making bulletins, the audio, everything. People try to put everything together because we need to worship God together. This is the temple. If you come here with a dividing thought group, it's a shame. It's a shame. And we, as one household, will build together. In Ephesians says, consequently, you are no longer foreigners and strangers, but fellow citizens with God's people, and also members of His household. When we think about household, we have the responsibility to maintain, to build, to work together, to protect. And we have to love each other. That's going to break the boundary between people. Culturally, different background, age-wise, gender-wise. And that should be built on the foundation of the apostle and the prophets. That indicates their teaching in the Word, how we work together. And when we go out, we really like a big family. That is a good image when we think about, we don't know each other, we're coming from all around the world sometimes. But when we get together, because of God, we stay there, just like a family. Everyone taking care of their own responsibility. And more importantly, as one kingdom. we are to strive each other together. There's so many things happen. So many things happen in our life. And I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, striving together as one for the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. We need to stand together in faith, in spirit, so that we will not be frightened in any way by those who oppose you. Being Christian, very often being opposed by enemies. You know, the enemies, they come not individually. You have to realize the enemy very often come as group. That's why sometimes it's difficult, because when we fight individually against the group, how can we win? We have to fight together. If anything happened to the group, we have to fight together, work together, pray together. Then because of the number, because of the congregation, size of the group, we can make things different. That you see in the church, we often come together, we pray. Whatever happened now in the teens group, there's always people there. Outside of this group, they pray for us, pray for fun, pray for wake of hope, pray for our graduation, pray for the teens, pray for the struggles among them. Because we are the kingdom of God. I want to show you a video. You're going to feel the difference because of the size and the situation. Imagine who you are.
As they mature, young males begin to explore the boundaries of the pride's territory.
It's a strong line.
Red has ventured out alone. And runs straight into the middle of the hyena clan. He's trapped by over 20 of them. The pack tries to wear him down. This number of hyenas could kill him. It's impossible to fight them all at once. He can't keep them at bay for much longer. He's tiring fast. His ally have changed. Even for 20 hyenas, a pair of male lions is too much to take on. Red is lucky.
Do you see that? A lion is strong, but with a group of the hyenas, they just cannot deal with it. But then there's another one coming. Things change. That's why in the kingdom of God, in the church, right now, the worldly things, just like those hyenas, they come to attack us. They don't come alone. And we have to realize that. We have to realize that. And the power of God expressed in the unity of His people. Single man will not be able to fight against many things, even ourselves. The bad things in ourselves coming again and again. Coming as a group, sometimes we feel so bad, everything's just a disaster. We need people to be around us. Fight together, inward and outward. But when you have some partners, look at the king, eventually, so dramatic. So, let's learn the lesson from the locusts. They are small, but when we come into group, we can conquer a lot. Realize that. Stop being divided. We try to get together in the faith, in the love, and in the spirit. Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the wonderful morning that we can come to you to worship you, to listen to your word. Everything on the earth, every creature, you made them, and you have message in their life. May we be able to read them and to tell them, to listen to them. So our life will become more likely to be to what you want to be. And keep the church united. Keep us have a clear mind. We remind us to be united in you. Pray in Jesus' name.